So I don't need to go on IG, right? So on my shield, on my regular Instagram, should I just put the YouTube link? All right, okay. Let me see if I can do that. All right, let me see. Let me see. Do I have a link? Let me see. Man. Yeah, send Bishop the link, and I'm gonna send Heike the link, and then my homegirl Ashley, I'm gonna send her the link too because I talked to her. Then nobody else responds, so I have no idea, and then we had to just play it by ear. We really, we really that's what we should put the music on. for a prompt, really. to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Shield. This the ministry that you want to be a part of. I'm trying to told you. So with this being said, this my name is Los. We got Lim right here, and we got young Romy Rome, and we coming to you live. And we got a really good one today, man. Really good one. So I want you to sit back, relax, and understand that the point of this live is to get y'all a different perspective, right? We want y'all to have a man perspective and a woman perspective about every subject we talk about, right? Now, this is a stage that we want you to feel comfortable in, right? Kick off your shoes. We just want you to be presentable if you won't be on the camera. But we want you to be comfortable. So we want you to be comfortable in your setting. Understand that we getting ready to take you on a roller coaster, right? So the subject this week is Houston's STD rates, right? As I was doing some research, I don't really think that was too much accurate, right? I saw some flawed numbers, if you will. But we also got some people that wrote into the show, thank God. So we making progress. We got, almost 100 followers on YouTube. We active and live on IG, and we just trying to share with y'all some open, authentic conversation. So come on in. You're welcome. Come on. Like let them say, come on in, get your feet wet. So hopefully, I can't see none of y'all. So hopefully, young Bishop on his way, because we gonna need you on this, young Bishop. So if you could get Bishop on here, that would be great. But I'm gonna go ahead and kick us off for the sake of time. So the first one I got is a letter from a young man, right? Young man wrote into the show. He said, "Look, now before we get started, could y'all mute yourself? I want to be able to make sure I don't hear no I hear. But look, check me out. The man wrote in, and what he said is, he said, Los, I want you to read this letter, and I want to see what people think. Yeah, two people wrote it right there. We had a young man and a young female, right? So I'm gonna read the males first, ladies last, right? So on this instant, lady last, right? Well, I'm gonna read the male first because his is relating to the whole STD thing. Now he said, Los, I'm telling you this in confidence, right? And I want you to be able to have your people help you. So I'm gonna throw it out here, and guess what? Y'all gonna help the young man, right? I ain't gonna say his name, but I'm gonna give you this whole situation from the man and the female perspective, right? So the young man hit it like this. He said, well, let me say this. Instead of this being a strawberry letter, I'm gonna call it in memory of my big mama, right? Her name was Cora Lee Blackford. So in memory of my big mama, we gonna say, Big Mama, what should I do? And so these are the letters I'm gonna continue on from now on with this shield called Big Mama, what should I do? Okay, so he say, hey Lowe's, I want you to read this letter to have the people help me. I'm in a current 7-year relationship. Me and my girl have been on again, off again. He said one day, I linked up with one of my exes that I went to high school with, and based on me linking up with one of my exes, we end up sleeping together, right? And so it was a one-time occurrence. I really didn't have feelings for her because I really love my lady. However, I had a slip up. And come to find out, I just got hired at this new company that hired me on, and they wanted me to take a drug test and a physical. And upon my physical, I found out I had an STD. And so this was one of the most difficult conversations. I see you, Lim. This is one of my most difficult conversations that I had to tell my old lady. And at the end of the day, once I told her, we went through a lot of grievances. She forgave me. We made up. And something similar happened with the new job. I met a new lady. We linked up too in the car, and guess what? I ended up getting another STD, and now she kind of done with me. What should I do? So my thing is, the young man is coming to us in confidence. Thank you, man, for that. I appreciate that. So, the young man is coming to us in confidence, right? He hitting us. I see you laughing, Shug. So he coming to us in confidence. So I'm just trying to figure out how to help the young man out. So I don't know who all live or what we doing or how, Shug gonna let you in if you want to speak. But for right now, we gonna pass it over to Lim. Like, what advice do we have for the baby boy?
Well, so when I think about this topic, even before we talk about his situation, when we think about the topic, we're talking about the Houston STDs, the syphilis rate that's been going on. It's just quite interesting to me. We're in 2024, and all that we know about, protecting yourself, STDs, we got a lot more information, obviously, than we had back in the day when Magic announced he had HIV back in 96, 97, back in those days. It's just quite interesting to me that today, I think probably more than any time, people are not really taking care of themselves in that way. Like you talked about, not strapping up, for both parties. You don't know where that person been, the woman been, you don't know who she with. And if you, when people don't know where, as a man, you don't know where the man been. So that's kind of striking to me. But now back to this guy. So with this situation, it's not really. I think he's his biggest issue. He gotta make it decision. You
Your phone is going in and out, Lim. Can't hear you, and so that ain't gonna work. So what you think, Ron? Why Lim trying to figure out his whole situation in the car? Wrong. Okay, I'm in it by myself. Okay, so the bottom line is, Lim, we ain't hear nothing you saying, man. It's going in and out, man. Your service is not good at all. You see this, Shug? Hey, cut him off, Shug. Get him out of here. And then we'll try to figure out Rome too, because he can't. Go ahead, Rome. Get him out, and then
Yo, can you hear me?
we can hear you, sir.
Can you hear me? All right.
Shug, you
And
need to mute.
now I think at that
Shug, you got to mute some people, man.
I think at
This
that
is
point
insane.
it's one of those things where how you keep falling into the same situation. Um, say what now? Oh, shit.
Okay, so we having some technical difficulties as y'all can see. So I'm gonna talk until we can get these guys situated with what's going on because it's going in and out. So what I can say, I'll comment on the young man then. So he called in, it's me and Shug. I'm gonna roll the dice then. If he can't get Bishop in here, let's see what we can do. So the bottom line is, Buddy called, and what I'm saying to you is, although we slip up, right? And we make mistakes. Buddy is really living in jail, like we're playing Russian roulette, if you will, if he's not using protection. Number one, and number two, I suggest that he starts with honesty. Because if he was to be honest, I think a lot of this stuff wouldn't have happened. Honest with himself, first of all, honest with his lady, and then being honest about what he want to do moving forward. I mean, even if you have a long stride of doing the right things and then you end up in a situation like this, do you really have a problem? These are things you have to really commit to see if you really have a problem. Do you need to get checked out on a regular basis, or can you refrain from sex in general? Like, is this a real problem for you? And so I just wanted to be able to address that part before I go into the female. That's why I'm glad I started with this one. So with the Houston thing, and you can only imagine the amount of black people in Houston, right? So we talking about the Houston thing, and it's a lot of STDs, and it's a lot of sex that's happening. Are we talking about using protection or not? Are we talking about the rubber broke, slipped off, whatever you got going on? What happened? What we talking about? Just going out here free, or we doing this on purpose because that's what you like? But either or, this is sparking conversation. So I want to be able to open it up to see if Lim is in a better area because we couldn't hear him; it was going in and out. So come on, Lim, tell me what your thoughts are. Guess not. So my thing is, should this? This ain't ending well. So what I'm gonna do is, I guess, should do you see anybody on IG? Because if we don't see anyone on IG, we could flip this thing over completely, and being able to see exactly how we can make this thing happen. So, because that's the letter that I read you from the young man. The young man hit you with the "I got an STD" twice. I went to my old lady, she forgave me, and now I'm just trying to understand what should I do because she's extremely heated. I'm assuming this second time was really, really fresh because she's really, really mad and upset. They do have kids, and I'm trying my hardest to help them through this whole situation. So, I mean, if y'all have any feedback, let me know. But that's what the case is for the STD thing in Houston. So, Houston is really, really bad as it comes down to that. I found out that those numbers were exaggerated, but it's still really bad when you talk about STDs, right? And so, are you just being negligent or what you doing as far as the young man? And so the young man out here wilding out, right? So he out here living his best life. But you got to understand that every action has consequences, right? So these consequences hurt you in the long run. So my thing is, you could go out here free, but is it really free if in fact consequences coming? And so I don't really understand why my man out here like that. I know we were all young and dumb, but my man, I mean, I know his age, he in his 30s. But at the end of the day, when do you get the wake up call to say enough is enough to be honest and true to baby girl? What you think, Romy? I think he
What up,
back.
though? Hey, sorry for the difficulties. What I would say to the young man is, you gotta look deep. You gotta look deep within yourself when it comes to those type of situations, because at the end of the day, we got plenty of options out there for protection. Not only the protection thing is one of those things where not only do you fall once, you fall twice. Um, you start to lose trust. Your girl starts to lose trust in you when you bring something home to her. And it's one of those things where you got to have an open and deep conversation. One that you probably didn't want to have. you, you probably didn't want to have that conversation. And maybe you wouldn't have to have that conversation had those things never came about. But once they come about, it's kind of like you got to address that elephant in the room and talk about either how it changed you for the better, or you gonna continue to keep doing the same thing, because it's no C in that situation. It's either A, you learn and you're not doing it no more, or B, I'm out here, I'm gonna keep.
Well, let me ask you this, for the sake of argument. Let me just ask you this before we go into our next segment. Um, if a man has been faithful for 5 years, say, and he go out here and make a mistake like this, right? Is this the same type of punishment that should be given if a man was reckless and continued to do this every weekend? Do we get some type of grace? What do you think, Ron?
Man, the way I look at it is never how many times you cheated on the test. It's the one time that you get caught. And that one time you get caught, it's up to either the school, the superintendent, the principal, to set the laws. And in most cases, let the young man be married, let the young man be engaged, boyfriend. Once you lose that trust factor, man, some of these young ladies, they gonna put you on the guillotine. They not playing any games.
Well, let me for the sake of argument again. What would Big Mama say? Like, what
Oh,
my big my big mama, Cora Lee Blackfoot, rest her soul. I'm just saying, my big mama, she had a little bit more forgiving grace back then. And I know they probably don't have it now. I get it. But for the sake of argument and the STDs in Houston and all this stuff going on, what do you think Big Mama would say? Then we'll bring it to the sexy red now.
Well, first of all, I think back when Big Mama and them was around, I don't think they had as many of the new STDs that's out here today. That was one. I think back then, I mean, let's be honest, since we're bringing up Big Mama, Granddad and all of those guys was a lot slicker. They was sleeping with cousin Annie, so and so Susie, sister this person, and that's how people got them secret brothers, secret sisters. And you grew up thinking it was a cousin, a neighbor, or all of those type of things. So at the end of the day, it was a lot of it wasn't that they didn't do their dirt. They knew how to hide it a little bit better. Or I ain't gonna say hide, they masked it a little bit better at that time. And you probably didn't find out until you was 25, 35. But you grew up one way, so now you're looking at Big Mama and Grandma like, wait a minute, why you ain't just tell me the truth? Well, I didn't think you was ready for that, baby. So as much as Big Mama, their era was good, I think that we also got to address the wrong that they did in that era too, which was masking a lot of the stuff that they knew about. They didn't want the family to know about, the grandkids to know about. Um, so I think in their era, they knew how to mask things a little bit better, and they would stick around. I think they had a little more grace because sometimes Big Mama didn't have the college education. She didn't go to school. She didn't have a degree to fall back on to go to work. She took care of the home. So
Hey,
at the end of the day, what's she gonna do?
hey, Ashley said they ain't had the GPS too, your location. So Big Mom, if Big Mama had your location, she'd come up there with that house code like she used to do at the school. Hey, so you ain't want Big Mama do all that with her switch. Because she would have had that same switch after you too. I'm sure. I'll see you laughing, Shug, but it would have been the same thing. But let me switch gears, right? Let me switch gears. So what kind of good, true advice would we give my man? And my anonymous caller that trusted us with his personal situation. What kind of good advice would we give my man to be able to leave him on a high note, Romy? Before I go, I'm gonna let you go first.
Um, on a high note, man, I would just say that number one, I don't know, are they married or is just boyfriend girlfriend?
No, they boyfriend girlfriend. They not married.
Boyfriend girlfriend. Okay. Even in that situation, if you think it's of something of substance, I'm a big advocate for counseling. I think that counseling really helps you get a better understanding of who he is that you're dating. He'll get a better understanding of who she is. And whoever that counselor, whether it's male or female, it's not about this person choosing his side, her side. They're licensed and trained to come down your aisle. And so they'll give you guys both the things that you need, the resources, if you want to stay and make it work. If you want to go and do some other things, I think it's just one of those things as a man, whether you're in your 20s, whether you're in your 30s or up, you just have to be open and honest and be real because young ladies always respect you just being real with them. They don't want to deal with trying to read your mind and figure things out. So if you feel it's worthwhile, I recommend counseling because it'll get you guys on the right track to go in the right direction. That's
I,
my take.
I appreciate that, Romy. Lim, what you thinking, man? What's your good advice for the young brother that called in and he was very vulnerable with his situation and his girl and the girl and the situation he's going through? What kind of advice would you give him, my good brother? Okay, he's still paused. Okay, so cool. I don't know what's going on with this should, but you might as well.
Where's the thing?
And then he talking about where's that thing? You got to mute. You got to. Hey, no, okay. So let me give you. Let me give you. I'm sorry for y'all that's listening. Man, this is all new. We try to switch over to the YouTube, and my man is lost. That's what happens when you try to get in the car and try to do a live session, right? So, okay, let me give you my advice to the young man. My advice to the young man, and I hope you hear me really, really loud and clear, right? I don't consider myself an expert, right? But I've been in the game long enough to understand that you got to be able to search yourself. Understand, are you getting better? What I pride myself in is try to get better and better each day at everything I do. I don't claim to be perfect. I know that I make wrong decisions at times, but at the end of the day, what I try to do is challenge myself to get better. So whatever that is, you can't lie to yourself. You can lie to baby girl, you can lie to your kids, you can even, but you can't lie to yourself. You got to be able to be true to yourself, true to God, and be able to make commitments, right? And so a part of a commitment is being honest. And so I think that is a big part of what he's going through. I think he is putting his own life as well as her in jeopardy. A mistake is one thing, but you got to be able to own up to it, and you got to be able to be exposed. And a lot of that is going through the humility of being shamed and being going through the consequences of the incident that you did. Luckily, he told me, but luckily it wasn't like herpes or AIDS or something you couldn't get rid of. But at the end of the day, like, you got to be able to learn from the things that happens. Like, even the Bible say you learn from the things you suffer, right? So when you go through bad things like this, it's supposed to build perseverance, endurance, and you're supposed to be able to get better from this. I don't know what's going on with my boy Lim, and I don't know if Bishop joined Suge or not, but we just gonna go ahead and freestyle, let down your hair. Let's go down. So Rome, do you have anything else that you want to tackle as it comes down to Houston and the race of what you read or statistics? If not, we could go to the next subject. But go ahead, let's stay on the STD thing.
Well, as far as Houston go, they came out and said that it was false information. So what I'll say is, even though the 42,000 wasn't necessarily all facts, let's just address the real issue here. Even if it's 2,000, that's 2,000 people that shouldn't be infected. With the technology and everything that's out there right now, there's no reason for none of us to go out there and live a reckless life. Because the way I look at it is, if I purchase a dozen donuts, everybody should be familiar with Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts. If I get 12 donuts and I inject one with poison, I couldn't pay anybody to choose one, because you would say, I don't know which one has the poison in it. That's how you got to look at it when you out here living recklessly, because right now, what do they call it? Instant gratification. Everybody want to feel good in the moment, thinking that plan B is going to solve everything. Plan B ain't going to solve everything. Plan B is only solving one thing when it comes to the child side of things, but it's not solving your whole STI, STD, whatever you want to call it. So you don't want to get anything that you can't shake. See, they
Okay,
used to.
so so we'll stay on this to 6, right? To 6 o'clock. But let me just ask
Okay.
you this. Well, all due fairness, I'm gonna play devil advocate because I like to shake the boat, and it's me and you. So this is how we talk on a regular basis. So let's just go ahead and keep it funky, since ain't nobody else here, right? It's us. Now, what do you feel about my man saying, hey, you got to understand, man, like, this wasn't a plan. I had a condom. One thing led to another. She done gave me some of that guac 6,000, and it was feeling amazing. And then one thing led to another, and then she just slipped it on. She was the aggressor. And it was like, I didn't want to be a punk that saying, oh, hold on, let me get the cut. And once I had 2-3 strokes already in there, I was already in the thing. So it ain't like that was my intentions. I'm not normally reckless. What would you say to the young man then? And excuse me, everybody, for being a little bit vulgar, but I just want to try to paint the scene. So I want you to understand what people really, really go through, if you will. Come on, Romy.
Hey, that's a real situation.
Huh?
I said that's a real situation
I say,
because,
huh? Right,
hey,
right.
hey, at the end of the day, let's be honest. It's out of 10 people, you may have 3 to 5 that has that strong willpower to push off, to say, hold on. That other 50%, 60% might be like,
Hey, Hey, so let me ask you this. So you telling me out of that same analogy you just gave with the Krispy Kreme, and you eating one bite, you telling me you could throw it away and say, "Oh, I don't want none of this Krispy Kreme." What if you
Hey,
really like Krispy Kreme and you took
listen.
one piece of the Krispy Kreme? You telling me you gonna throw the Krispy Kreme in the garbage?
Hey, hey, one thing I can tell you about experience, I know the difference between the hat and no hat. So if I feel the no hat, it's time out. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, something ain't right. Because at the end of the day, unless y'all that's your girl, and y'all that went and got tested and all of that, man, I just feel like it's too much out here that we can't shake, and they steady coming out with new STDs and everything. So that risk factor is high. It's like, remember the show Fear Factor? You really doing the Fear Factor episode.
No, no, look, I get you. I understand. All I'm saying is I'm just painting a scenario. So that leads us to the next question. Like, how do you feel? I don't know if Lynn with us or not, but how do you feel
Yeah.
comfortable with talking about, I just met somebody, I really like them, we getting ready, we having sex and we have it with protection. We live in Houston. But how do I feel comfortable with asking them, like, can I see your records? Like, are you clean? When the last time you went to the doctor? How do I feel comfortable as a man or a woman to ask those difficult questions? Go ahead, Lim. If he back, he still ain't back.
Yeah, yeah, he tried to figure it out. He tried to figure it out. That's I put it to you like this. When you go on date 3, because women, let's be honest, women know if they attracted to this dude in that way.
Wow.
They know if, hey, this guy, if
Okay.
he do XYZ, he can take me back to the house, back to the apartment, back to the room. And with that being said, I always say women and men, you basically have to be grown men, big boy panties. I mean, big girl panties, big boy draws, and come into the room and have the difficult conversations before you go down that road, because you don't want to be in a situation where, oh, he looked good, she looked good, but you don't know they status. You know what I'm saying? You want you everybody can look clean, but they ain't clean. And you want to make sure you have that conversation. I just say, I guess I'm a straight shooter. I have the real conversation. Like, hey, when last time you been tested? You say what you say. I say what I say. Okay, let's go next week. Let's trade the paperwork, because if not, we guessing.
Okay, okay. So what if that leads to, and this the last one. I know we got a few more minutes, right? So what if this leads to an older female, like on the upper end of her 30s, like let's just call it 37 to 40. She really want to get pregnant, right? And Buddy really want to have kids too. They don't have that much time. They both instantly attracted to each other. They've been having sex maybe 3 times a week for the past, month or two. And then they feel like, man, let's shoot the shot then. Like, what do you feel about that? Like, I mean,
Hey,
even with the no, even with the, I love God and I want God to forgive me, but I know I'm on a crunch. I'm on a time crunch. And women think like that. We understand that they have biological clocks. So these are the type of things that we're talking about now. So, let me know what you think about that, Romy.
oh, hey, I think from my experience, it seems like once you hit that 30 plus, women is way more open than they were in their 20s at that point. They know what they like. They know what they don't like. Men know what they like. They know what they don't like. So it's a real conversation. And it's like, what are we? I always tell women, never be in a situation where you got to talk to a guy and say, what are we? Because that's a tough situation as a woman to find out 6 months later, you thinking it's a relationship, and you figure out it's a friend with benefits. So never put yourself in a situation where you saying, hey, what are we? Long as you know this is your man, That's your woman. Y'all both agree this is what we're gonna do. Hey, it's all good. But when you just freestyling it as we calling it, and you going with the flow. Who's that? Oh, you go.
Who is this?
I'm trying to see.
I told Suge to mute.
Oh
I
yeah,
had
yeah, yeah.
he met.
No. But I think that when you 30 and up, man, I think a lot, at least the people in my circle, people have real conversations, and I always just tell the lady, don't be in a situation where you got to ask your guy that you're dating, what are we? Because that's rough.
Well, look, this leads us to our next conversation. I think it flows really well. So forget that Houston STD thing. That was the first portion of our conversation. But I got another letter. Your boy got another letter from a female. This is one of my homegirls too. I'm like, this was somebody I know, right? Just because I want y'all to try to guess, because I know a lot of people, right? But anyways, I want Rome to go ahead and read the letter. I don't know who the KO, but they can show their face and then we'll let you in. But go ahead, Rome. I'll let you read the letter, and then
Oh
once you read the letter,
no,
we'll go ahead.
that's what I had sent it to Lim because on my side I couldn't get it to pull up, so I won't be able to read it right in the moment.
All right. Okay. Cool. He can't read it. All right. So I have to read it because Suge ain't gonna read it. Okay. So this what they told me at the letter. Right. Check me out. And I see Suge laughing. All right. This a long letter, so I'm gonna try to read some of it. Right. And just to
Just
paraphrase.
summarize it.
I know. I got you. I got you. Hear me out. I'm gonna go line by line. She said, "Hey." Big Mama said, right? This is my Big Mama said letter, right? It ain't the strawberry letter, it's the Big Mama said. What should I do, Big Mama, right? She said, I check this out. This is my situation. I've been dating this guy for almost 2 months, and things have been going really well. We share the same desires for the future. Here are some of the factors that may be important. He is 48, I'm 38. Neither one of us has kids, which is something we both want really bad. He's recently divorced after a 10-year marriage, right? That's the first paragraph. Hear me out. Y'all ready? We had deep conversations, even the very hard ones, including the frequencies of the time spent together. Yes, we are intimate, but I don't believe it's all about sex. He lives in my building, and we have been on dates that ended with a walk to the door and a kiss, simply goodnight. He was receptive to stepping up and being more proactive because he agreed he could be. He will be meeting a few of my friends very soon, and we plan to introduce each other's friends as I meet his best friend in the future as well. Here are some of the questions we discussed. Number one, and I guess we could what should I do, Big Mama? I love you, Suge. Okay, so look, this is what we gonna do. I'm gonna name her expectations, and we gonna tackle them one by one. Cause here go the smoke right here, right? Number one, she said expectations of each other in our relationship, faith and religious beliefs. That's number one. Number two, well, okay, let's just stop there. Faith and religious beliefs. All right. So what you think about that, Ron? Faith and religious belief. She 38, he 48. Yeah, that's a 10-year difference. They both know what they want. They both want some kids. They both ain't got no kids. Buddy been married. She has not been married. Um, and and I got a lot more to read, but I want to go. Matter of fact, you're right. Big Mama, what should I do, Big Mama? Let me just go through all of them, Ron. Because I'm gonna get a little more time to figure it out. Let me go through all of them. So the number one is expectations of each other, which is faith and religious belief, finances as a married couple, how soon we expect to be married. He asked if I would be ready to marry him in 4 to 6 months or even a year. He, what meeting the family would be, what it would look like, how to handle disagreements, whether he sees cultural differences being a challenge with his family because he's African. Okay, note that. What's appropriate? What's appropriate with friends of the opposite sex and with exes? Ooh, she talking so much on this joint. Okay, if either one of us is entertaining anyone else, and the biggest issue in our previous relationships, or what is the biggest issue in our previous relationships, and what we enjoy, and what are our triggers. Those are all the expectations. She said her biggest concerns, which we discussed, is that she's ready for a relationship right now. He wants a relationship, but amid his pace is a little bit more cautious and slow. However, he doesn't want to lose me because he's moving too slow. He said he's almost ready and does not want to waste her time. So, although important notes about pace, him and his ex-wife has been separated since 2020. He served the divorce papers in 2022. So the divorce was actually granted about 2.5 months ago. So in the midst of all of this, he can't close on his house because he got to wait for his divorce to happen, right? It's a lot going on with this letter, right, to Big Mama. So the point is, I'm just trying to get y'all to see how can we help so far for what we know. Matter of fact, it's two more sentences. I'm gonna read them. It says he can't close on his house without being divorced because she trying to take everything, right? He has admitted he has been very overwhelmed with this whole process of the divorce so far, and she says she feels at peace with this man and believe he's extremely sincere. So the questions that she really want Big Mama to ask is, what can she do to step it up a notch? Either thoughtfulness or spiciness, or how much time should she give him to actually make up his mind and make a decision. And the final one is, her thought is to give it another 3 weeks for him to decide if he's in or out. What do you think, Big Mama? So this the Big Mama joint. What do you think? Now this letter tackled a lot, and needless to say, I think this woman is phenomenal, right? I think she is. You could tell her personality by the way she writes, actually. So actually, she seems very, very educated. Seems like she got it together. She seems like she's ready and willing to be submissive, which Bishop, he don't like that cuss word, submissive, right? And then so Lim, I know you got something to say about that too, but it seemed like the lady ready, but it's a lot of things to tackle. Old dude lived in her building, actually probably about 4 doors down. So he can knock on the door, get a little sun back. And so my thing is, she want to know. I love that dude. Whoever that was, right time, actually. So I'm trying to figure out if this was serious or not. Like, what do we feel? What kind of advice will we give her? I'm gonna let you go first, Lim, because I think you missed out on a lot, brother. Come on in. Come on. Look, the water's warm.
Yeah, I did.
Water's warm, baby.
All
Come
right,
on.
I'm coming in. The water's warm. The water's warm. Okay. So here's the deal. It's two things she's got going against her in this situation. This gentleman has been married and he's still dealing with the residue of his marriage. And that takes a lot of patience. And this is one of the reasons why it's challenging dealing with people who are coming out of marriages and divorces from an emotional standpoint, financial standpoint. And now in a situation, he's still connected to his ex-wife as far as the property is concerned. It's a lot of things that need to be untangled. And sometimes someone like her, who's 10 years his junior, hasn't got a chance to deal with a lot of those things. So she may not have the understanding and the patience to be able to ride this out to see if it's what's in his Cracker Jack box, so to speak. So she, to the point that she may have to ask herself is how much patience, or Big Mama would suggest, is baby, how much patience do you have to wait for this man to see if he can get disentangled or untangled from his ex-wife. And then that's when game on. Because even after that happens, there's still going to be a gestation period from an emotional standpoint to see if he's then ready to move forward with her. See, it's one thing when we having sex, going on dates, we live in the same building, which is a no-no. That's a whole nother conversation. But we doing that and it's very casual. It's another thing when they say shit gets real. So as soon as that divorce settles and he's ready to, supposedly ready to move on, she's going to find out what pace he's really on.
I love it, brother. Thank you so much for that insight. Go ahead, Romy.
Hey, you touched on the young lady said something about their religions. What's her religious background and what's his?
Now that's a really, really good question, right?
Because what reason I asked that is you said that the young man is African. I didn't went somewhere, I won't say where, and I met somebody who was worshiping every idol that you could think of. I seen the picture, like, yeah, that's the God right there. I'm like, that ain't no God, that's God's. Then you got the white Jesus at the top. Like, which one you praying to? And all I'm saying is, if you don't know, because the Bible, I go by the Bible when it comes to marriage. It said Christ is the head of man. Man is the head of the woman. And if you got somebody over here praying to 25 gods, like my man say 69 God, hey, you got to be careful because you don't want to be in a situation where you know what I'm saying, y'all got to know you got to have a strong foundation. She got
uh,
to have a strong foundation on her side and he got to have one on his side, whatever that is.
okay, so let's just stop and put the quarter in the meter and pocket right there, Big Mama. Right. So what if? And so because I read the letter, but I'm just saying, what if the stability is he say for example, they both open, right? They both Christians, but they both open. What I mean by open is don't do that, Lil. Don't do that. Because no, for real. Nowadays, in the era we live in right now, it's a lot
Yeah,
of people
open
that I'm not religious, but what they say, how they say it wrong. They say,
spiritual.
yeah, I'm spiritual. I'm
Yeah.
spiritually
Yeah.
connected, right? So, because you got people that may dibble and dab in the tarot cards or astrology and still be Christians, right? And then you got people that's really extreme Christians, like Pentecostal, that or even non-denominational or AME, that's all the way entrenched, right? But I don't really think religion has affected their relationship as of now. So my thing is, it could be a situation where I think right now we still trying to figure each other out. So let's just call them both Christians at this point, but they both could be swayed to be able to learn more about their Christianity, if that makes sense. Let's park the meter right there then. So what I saw, okay, so let's tackle this part though. Buddy, stay down the street. Just as a recap for the people that just joined, for the people in the back, right? We asking Big Mama what the play is, right? But they live up the street from each other, like in the same condo or a town or a skyrise, in the same complex. I'm in 306. He in 326 or whatever it is, right? And so they met each other by, hey, boo, how you doing? And, oh, you should let me come over there and help you grocery, flirting. And then flirting turned into one thing turned to another. And then they still date and all of that. But then, they got it in. So the question is, what would Big Mama say to, let's go back. See, I like this. Let's go back and then let's come forward. What would Big Mama say to her as some good advice? And then what would Sexy Red and them say? Right? And I hate you. Ron, listen. The reason I'm saying this because I want to use the extreme opposites, right? I want to say Big Mama, and then because Big Mama is extremely different from Sexy Red, and I'm just using these characters for the sake of the show. So please don't judge me. I'm just going on the sake of the show. What kind of good and so let me translate this to our listeners. What kind of good sound advice will we give this young lady opposed to what kind of ratchet ignorant advice will we give this lady? And then we'll end by giving encouragement and good advice where she can look at different perspectives to see which way she should turn because she's trusting us. Like, I want y'all to understand the importance of this. She's trusting us with her vulnerability of this story to be able to dissect this letter to be able to help her out. So let's take this serious, but let's go back to Big Mama first. Come on, Ron, because I know Big Mama told you some stuff. Come on, man, I'm listening.
Hey, what I would think I'm gonna use my big mama, my grandmother. I think what she would say to the young lady, as if it was her granddaughter, is because you said we're gonna say they both Christians at this point. She would definitely say, uh, "Girl, you better pray because God always gonna reveal to you if you dealing with somebody who out here trying to be a wolf in sheep clothing, or if he actually is who he say he is." And that's where that spiritual discernment come in. I hear a lot of people today, "Oh, I'm more spiritual than religious." Okay, that's fine, but what does that mean to you? Because at the end of the day, does that mean you really have a relationship with God? You praying to him several times a day or once a day and you're doing your daily devotionals? What does that mean to you specifically? That's why you can't, like, if I take you on a date, you can't hit me with that because that's surface. I'm gonna hit you with some real questions, and it's gonna make me either reveal who you are or it's gonna make you start stutter stepping. Like, oh well, I meant it this way. No, let's talk about this. So I would say she would tell the young lady, spiritual discernment is key because it's a lot of people going to tell you what you want to hear, but at the end of the day, it may not be what's going to get you to that finish line. And let's be honest, a lot of the young ladies finish line today is they want the husband, they want the family, they want the whole nine. So if you're going to be in this game, you got to know the rules of the game. And some of these guys know how to play the game a lot better than you. So Big Mama would tell her spiritual discernment is key.
Right. Go ahead, man, because I know what my big mama would say. But go ahead, I'm gonna let you come on in.
Are we are we doing Big Mama or
We
Sexy
doing big
Red?
mama
You want me to tell you what
first.
sexy?
No, we doing big
All
mama
right, all right,
first. Then we gonna go on
all
over to
right.
Sexy Red.
All right. Well, Big Mama would say, girl, baby girl, he got about 10 years of life experience on you. The man has been married. You need to definitely guard your heart, proceed with caution, because he has already been where you trying to go. And as far as having children with this man, what you got to be careful of is if he's not equally yoked as it pertains to whatever his belief system is. That is going to come into play when you have children and you got one person who may not want to celebrate Christmas, yada, yada, yada. That's a whole nother conversation. But she would say, guard your heart. She said, because a man is older, he's been married. That's a red flag. Not that he's been married, it didn't work, but that he already has had that experience. And that sometimes can be used as a form of, I hate to use this word, but manipulation, or just I just know what to do when I'm backed against the wall. So he's dealing with her from a place of authority, where she's dealing with him from a place of emotion and hoping he is who she believes he is. Based upon the glimpse of we're just now just casually dating, we're having sex, and they're having more sex than you believe because they're too close in proximity. So believe me, late at night, get a little itch, need a little scratch. It's very convenient when you walking to somebody's place versus you got to get in the car and drive and go get that itch scratched. So trust me, that's a big part of of the relationship as it is now, and most likely that's what's governing her decision making as to what she wants from him. Part of that is so Big Mama would say, honey, proceed with caution. Everything that shine ain't gold. Look before you leap, all that sort of thing.
Hey, say something for me. Gee, say something for my big mama, right? So, in the sake of my big mama, Cora Lee Blackford, and also Elizabeth Richardson, let me tell you what Big Mama was saying for me, right? So, Big Mama would say everything that glitter ain't gold, right? But let me bag up, and I'm gonna say some blasphemy, right? I'm gonna say something really really crazy at this point. I think Big Mama was part of the problem, right? Because see, I'm sorry, Big Mama, but I think Big Mama was really part of the problem. Because see, Big Mama, she adds this independent stuff on. Girl, get your own. You don't want to end up like me and Big Daddy, because everything he did, I had to cook, and my knees hurt and my back. So that was Big Mama, right? So Big Mama hyped this thing up to be independent, right? So she part of the problem. So what I can say with the same Big Mama thing, she would say everything that glitter ain't gold, right? So you got to be able to watch and be able to trust but verify, right? So my man is right up the street, right? Why? And Big Mama also would hit him with this. Why buy a cow if you could get the milk for free? Big Mama, Big Mama hit him with that too. So at the end of the day, if she giving all this milk for free, why am I buy this cow? You know, I could just go on over there and milk what I need and keep it moving, right? And then I could go ahead and spit some good game. And that's for the sexy red stuff. So I'm getting all the ignorant stuff out of there first. But Big Mama would actually tell her, I don't really see nothing wrong with the age, me personally. But I do know what I will say that ain't nobody spoke about yet is my man is African. And if you know anything, and I don't want to judge Africans like we put all pit bulls in the box and all black people niggas. I don't do that either. But what I will say, I know a lot of Africans, and what I will say is culturally, it's tremendously different the way that they handle their women and their expectation for the women. And if you can understand that, matter of fact, I got another person I know that's African, and she had horror stories of how the man didn't do nothing and left her with 3, 4 kids, and he stayed right up the street, ain't paying, don't come to the basketball games, don't do nothing. And so all I'm saying to you is I know a lot of people in this situation where the expectation of a woman is to shut up and dribble, LeBron James. So what I'm saying to you is you got to be able to understand what Big Mama would throw out as far as caution. Now let's do this Allen Iverson crossover. Now, suppose everything is good. Suppose this is her soulmate. Suppose she reaching out to us because it is gold and it is glittering and she do like it and God sent her Boaz. Now what you got to say, Romy?
Hey, once you get the God confirmation, what am I to say to you at that point? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people like to use Boaz. I'm talking to you preachers out there. One thing y'all need to know is Boaz was much older than Ruth. That's number one.
50, 38. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. He had his money right. That's number two.
man, right
Now
money.
I would say this to the young lady and the young man. They said something about finances when you get married. No, that's incorrect. I need to know what debts you got today. Because when I say I do to you, we become one and your debts is gonna be my debts. I need to know what you dealing with. Don't hit me with no surprises because we'll be divorced the next day. That's just me. I don't need surprises in 2024. I need to know what you bringing to the table early on. And I would say, because you said something about kids, I would say to the young lady, go to your doctor and make sure that you can have kids because you don't want to be hit with surprises. Had a young man go and get checked to make sure he can have kids because you last thing you want to do is say I do and both be disheartened by the news that you receive and find out that you got to go and do other procedures to get to where you're trying to go when it comes to that. So when it comes to the marriage thing, I think the two factors is knowing each other's credit and what you're dealing with before you come into it. You can't wait till you get on the other side to figure that out. You got to talk about that now and
So
then figure out the kid thing ahead of time too.
I appreciate that, Romy. Lim, what I want you to answer though is a different factor that I read in this letter that nobody talked about either. My man say, "What if I propose in 2, 3, 4 months, or even a year? What if I propose because I really want to get married?" What's what's your take on that, Lim? And my man just got out of a marriage. Come on,
That's where I'm
I
going.
know.
That's
Keep it
exactly
real
where
with
I'm
me.
going.
Keep it funky.
Yeah. So that is a red flag. A man that just got, I mean, literally, he's still kind of connected to his ex-wife as far as the property is concerned. That's a red flag that he wants to jump right back and get married again. Most of the time, there should be some time to get well, not over, but just get disconnected from the person, kind of get your bearings aside. Always be careful of people who can't be single for a little bit to get to know themselves and kind of recalibrate. So that's a red flag for sure.
So let
But
me
I want
say
to go
this.
back to.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
I
And
want
I
to go
want to
back.
say
Go ahead. Go ahead.
because this is important. I just want to stay here, then I want you to go back. But let's stay right
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's stay
Okay. All
here.
right. Right. Yeah. So, all right. So I would say the fact that he wants to get married again is a red flag. And it's a red flag because he hadn't taken any time for himself. Now, here's the thing. You mentioned something about the African culture, and this is. And I'm gonna go Dr. Umar with you. Dr. Umar said, "Oh
I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
honor,
Your guy.
the
He
honorable.
said that the. Oh, well, no, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. Dr. Umar said that I'm saying doctor now. That's enough respect. So he said that the African brothers, one of the reasons why sisters from America, going to have a challenge with African brothers here and abroad, is they don't take no shit off of sisters in terms of they have certain expectations culturally. One is a woman is to stay in a woman's place. They don't play that. And two is they are sometimes wanting multiple wives. That's the other gig that they don't tell you right away. They kind of slide that in on the back end once they got you locked in. Is that, yeah, my culture practices polygamy. And it's not even called polygamy here, there. It's just that's just the culture. So there's that too. But she definitely should be concerned about the fact that this man is just coming out of a marriage, a divorce, and he wants to get married again. That's a red flag. Go ahead, you guys take it from me.
No, no, it's. I want to keep it here with you, but with all due fairness, it's a lot of I just use pastors. You know, they get a divorce, they feel like they in sin if you having sex without getting married, right? So they feel like, what if my man feel like you are who I was supposed to be all along? And furthermore, his ex-wife is back in Africa. So I really been yearning for somebody. We've been separated for a while. I ran into you. This is my prayer. You everything that she isn't. You know, don't do that now. Look, I'm trying to finish the story because I'm trying to play devil advocate. But you everything that she wasn't in a woman. Matter of fact, I love the way that you just, wake me up with small notes. You give me small kisses, the stuff that I didn't have her to do. You up here doing you everything I wanted in a woman. And it feel good. What's your suggestion? So let's stay on the flip side, Lim.
Okay. Say,
Why
so
can't
here's the
why
suggestion.
can't we
Here's the
desperate?
suggestion. Hold on. Why we got to rush into something? Why can't we get to know each other? Why do we have to get married right away? Why don't we get a chance? Give me a year for us to date and see who we are together. And I know this is not traditional, but maybe even try living together before you get married. I know that's not traditional. The reason why I say that is to see who this man is in your space and vice versa. That's a game changer. And sometimes there are people who, if they would have moved in first, they'd be like, hey, no way in hell I'd have married this person. Because they would have
No,
realized they're not compatible. Go
no,
ahead.
you know
They're
what?
not compatible.
I actually agree with you, and I'm sorry, Pastor. I don't want to, publicly say I agree with shacking up because Big Mama said she ain't like none of that, and that was extremely
Distracted.
prohibited. However, let's go
However,
back there because no, seriously, because what I'm saying to you is that's not what he said. He didn't say I want to get married right away. He said, what if he was hitting her with the 2 months, 6? LeBron say not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. He kept going, right? So I'm saying he said, what if I propose in 2 months, 3 months, 6, 8, 10, or a year? Like, is that too soon for you? Because I know what I really want.
he
So
planted
what
a
I'm
seed in her head. That's a
saying,
mind game. Go ahead.
I know, but this is why we got to say this type of stuff out loud to dissect this Big Mama, what should I do letter? Because when you actually think about the Big Mama, what should I do letter, it's more so of let's rewind the tape of what was said and what does he really mean by that. Now, me, I'm gonna play devil. I'm not Lim. I'm not Bishop. I'm Los, right? So I love the fact that I could put myself in her shoes to try to understand her perspective, buddy perspective on the positive side. And guess what? If we flip this around to Donald Trump, I could tell you some good attributes about him too. Because I don't know why God made me like this, but I like to find the good in people, right? Just the good in people. So I just try to flip the boat to say, what if this is her destiny and her God? Is it something wrong with her finding her God? Because she's been waiting all her life. All her friends might be in relationships. They all got kids. They going to Cabo with dates. And this is something she's been praying for. And God dropped her at 326, door 326, and she had 306. Like, to me, that might be a blessing, an angel in disguise. So all I'm saying, that could be the Notebook movie. So I'm just trying to get you to understand. Don't do me like that, man. I'm trying to soup this thing up because and I see you laughing, Shug. I'm trying to get this situation where y'all can understand both perspectives. So come on in, Ron. What you think?
Hey, let me say this. I'm gonna touch on the cultural thing, something that I know. First of all, folks, Los and I met when we worked at Avis here at Hartsfield Jackson Airport in Atlanta. We worked around a lot of Somalians, Ethiopians at the airport, and I used to ask a lot of real questions. One of the questions I asked one of them one time is, say some of your family is coming to town, whether it's your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters. How long would they stay at your spouse at the house with y'all? He said, man, they'll stay as long as I want them to stay. I said, so let's just say 6 months. He said, yep. I said, that's a problem with us as Americans. I could barely stay in Lowe's or Lim House for 3 weeks, let alone 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you is, when I say that cultural difference is real, make sure you dive deep, young lady, on the cultural difference, because you don't want to be culturally shocked after the
Yes.
fact.
Hey,
You don't want any surprises, because if you don't understand the dynamics of their love compared to our love. I remember one time I was at the airport, and this is no shade to anybody in that community. I went to dap my man up, but he did it with the wrong hand. So we like this. Man, after about 3 seconds, I'm looking at buddy like I'm about to give him this hook. Like, hey, bro, like, what's up? He told me, he pulled me to the side, said, hey, the longer I hold your hand, mean the stronger the friendship, the bond. And I said, well, here on this soil, it's the other way. It don't mean no bond. It's a different bond. I said, so I don't want no parts of that, bro. So we had an understanding. But what I'm saying is, just in that moment, that was a cultural shock for me. I'm just letting you
Yeah.
know I'm from Detroit. That was a cultural shock for me. And I'm not even dating a young man. What I'm saying, as a woman, you don't want to be culturally shocked like I was that day. And that's what I want to say.
okay, so look, I watch a lot of 90 Day Fiance with my wife. Right? I'm just saying, I'm just saying, it's a lot of cultural differences, right? But I'm sorry, breaking news. ESPN, dun 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 dun. Sorry, I copy infringement. Sorry, but she just hit me on the side right here. She said, "I stand corrected." Oh, excuse me, I stand corrected, Lowe's. He been divorced since 2020. So you talking about
Oh,
some just divorce? He been divorced. So at the end of the day, I'm just letting you know, you got to read the letter. It ain't just like my man woke up out the relationship. I woke up like this. My man
yeah.
say he been pondering for 2 years and praying for his woman. Huh? He that found a wife found a good thing, not a girlfriend. So he said he been pondering this and he found what he liked. And this is what he really, really liked. So at this point, I'm just asking you what you thinking.
Well, I mean, for 4 years, okay, that's the time is cool. I still say she would do their due diligence to actually understand his culture. He's Rome is actually right, and if she so chooses to, she might want to. And I know this is again against religion, against what we're taught. They might want to move in and see how they commingle, or just spend some time in each other's space outside of we coming over to do that thing or hang out. Really like spend time in each other's space and give it about a year. See where they at.
So
It's nothing wrong. You think
let me
what?
shake the boat one more time, because see, y'all staying surface based. Let's shake the boat, right?
All
So
right, all right.
is there a difference between a young lady dating Lim now and then a young lady dating Lim if he just hit the $3 million lottery?
Oh hell yeah.
I know. So let's pause there. Let's pause there. Let's pause there. Because I don't really think I was reading this letter, this Big Mama Wish I Do letter, because I'm reading right here and it say, Buddy getting ready to close on the house. And the only reason he's stopping from closing on this house is because he waiting for this divorce proceedings to be done and my man moving on up like the Jeffersons. And need I say that this is all important to women from what I understand. I talk to a lot of them, right? So, and so I understand stability is very important. So, if my man hitting you with the stability, he hitting you with the good, everything Bishop talked about, 6 figures, 6 feet. Like, I'm just saying, he hitting you with all of this. And my man mapped out a plan. So it ain't like he said he mapped out a plan. He said, not only do I want to marry you, but I'm getting ready to move in my crib. Let me handle this situation first, baby girl. Be comfortable with my pace, not your pace. Be comfortable with my pace and the way I'm moving. And I got you. Do you trust that I got you? Yeah, I trust you. Well, kick back, chill, because I'm showing you, right? Not only am I coming over there and smashing, but I'm taking you on dates. I'm giving you the forehead kisses. I'm bringing you flowers, graham crackers, all your favorite stuff that you like. I'm winking at you. I'm saying, oh, baby, look at you in that sundress. I'm doing all of that good stuff. I see you, Lim, but I'm doing all that good stuff to show you that Big Daddy care. Huh? So if I'm doing all of that, what's the reservation, baby girl? Like, what are we rushing? Like, if we gonna rush anything, go on freeze your eggs or something. But don't rush me because I got a plan, huh? This is what we gonna do. I got a plan. Do you trust me? Hey, hey, that sound like the man. Hey, do you trust me? And then they give you the
This
little.
guy, here you go.
So what
It
you
is the
what you thinking, Romy? Do you trust me, baby girl? Do you trust me? I'll take you to
Hey,
the
hey, no, that trust factor. I always say when you see somebody who's financially well off, especially women, they need financial stability. It seems like the young man is financially stable, and so when it comes to those type of situations, you have your, uh, our buddy Bishop like to call it the 36, the 6 foot tall, the 6 figures, all the different things. I'm not counting my man pockets, but what I am saying, I've seen it from celebrity side of things and regular folks. Whenever somebody is financially stable, it puts the woman in a position to be a lot quicker to be submissive because they coming into an established structured situation. When you're dealing with somebody who is not as structured and different things like that, that's when you see a little bucking in the system sometimes. So I think the trust factor comes a little bit quicker when they see that financial stability, because that's one of the, it used to be a time infidelity was the biggest thing for divorce. It's for financial reasons today. Everybody's divorcing for financial reasons. And it's funny to me because the vows say for richer or poor. So
for better
my
or worse.
yeah, yeah. Hey. So my question to all the young ladies: when you marry that young man for that financial stability, what happens if he loses that 10 years from now? Are you going to leave him because you was caught up on the money? You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the young lady that this is about, but I'm just saying sometimes you got to have more than that financial stability because life happens, health ailments happen, and it says through sickness and in health. Make sure y'all start understanding these vows because when the going get tough, we gonna see what you really about when that pressure is applied.
But I want
So
y'all to understand before I let Lemmy in. I want y'all to understand the difference, right? The first caller out here pump fake. He been in a relationship 7 years. My man gave old girl a STD twice. And so this time he said, baby, please don't leave me. I'll do better. Please don't go away from me. He was singing the whole songs and everything. So I'm saying we gave my man some good advice based on how to clean up his act, right? And then on the flip side, this chick saying, hey, I want the smoke. I want to get married. Matter of fact, guess what? If he asks me tomorrow, I'm marrying my man because that's how ready I am. Come on, Lim.
I got a twist. I'm gonna throw a twist at you, man. I hope she's listening to. I want to talk directly to her. Here's the twist. If he wants to marry you, you give him one request. I want to meet your ex-wife and find out why it didn't work with y'all. Come
Ooh!
on. Come on, baby. That's the twist. I need to meet your ex-wife, talk to her, FaceTime, whatever, and find out why this marriage didn't work from her perspective. Not his perspective, from her perspective. And it's not to go into a bashing session about, oh boy, it's to find out some of the personality and character defects and quirks that she saw in him that he may not see in himself. And it ain't no sweet talking on that, fellas. Come on with it. We're going to turn this
No,
into a
you know
talk
what?
show. Let's do it.
In all the relationship shows that we watch, they normally bring the exes. So that is a really, really good one. Actually, that ain't no twist, and that's that smoke. And the reason I'm doing this, Lim, the reason you smiling like this, right, is because what I said at the beginning is what we're trying to do is do different perspectives. We want to give her some of that smoke she could come ponder to say, hey, these are things I never thought of. Maybe I should ask them this, or maybe I should ask them that. And so that is a couple things that we can always do. So I like that. What else you got for us?
Well, so here's the thing, and I know this would be probably unusual because most relationships, not the ones that are not on television, they don't get a chance to do that. But I think if you could get that perspective, because there's always two sides to every story. A lot of times when we get with someone, we never hear the other side. We take their side. Oh, your baby mama was crazy. Oh, it sounded like she was crazy because you said she was crazy, right? But there's always the baby mama side, or vice versa, the baby daddy. So in a perfect scenario, since we're dealing with people who've had multiple relationships, most people, let's do this. At our age and anything above 21, 30, 34, 50, 40, 50, people have been in a lot of situations or have been in multiple situations. It doesn't mean they're having sex with multiple people, but we're not the first person they met. Let's just be honest. So if that is the case, it would behoove us, if we're talking about due diligence, we're talking about investing our futures, if we could at least hear the perspective of the ex and see what they say. They may be crazy, but at least if you hear it, you'll be like, okay, I can verify that, or no. I might need to look at my person again and reassess if that's something I can deal with. Because she may know, I guarantee you, ain't no make to it. I guarantee you, his ex-wife knows things about this man that young lady has no idea about. I
Or, or
guarantee you.
Or furthermore, just to add to what you're saying, the relationship that he has with his mom. You can see
Right,
how
that
he
too.
treats his mom. That's very important
Yeah.
too, because how he treat his mom. How does he treat the waitress? Does he, so these are all the, how does he treat the people when y'all go, anywhere, and the people that's helping? What about the homeless person that was asking for money? How does he treat the people around you in everyday situations? These are type of things you can really check out too. But yes, that ex-wife, that's that smoke, or his mom, that's that smoke too.
Or
Because
his
you
siblings. Or his
or his,
siblings, Los.
or
His
his siblings,
siblings.
or his
Yeah.
siblings. Absolutely.
Right.
All right, what you got for us, Ron? What the question say? You can read the question if you want to. I don't know. Ashley says, woman needs to know where his mindset is. If he loses it all, can he build it back up? Also, that's discussing debt, finances early on, bank accounts, if you plan on being a stay-at-home wife. Yeah, these are all the things that need to be discussed too. You're right. But go ahead, Ron. What you got?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think, excuse me. I think, we touched on a lot. I'll say my last piece with some positivity for Um, Clearly, you guys had chemistry. That's always your first initial connection with anybody. Um, the second thing you go to what is connection, and it seems that you two have that connection. The steps after that is a little bit deeper. In this case, I think you really have to identify the cultural differences and really break that thing down. Really break it down because it's a lot deeper than just surface when you're dealing with that because of how he's raised and how you were raised here in America. There's a big difference. And I think that that's something that, you could go into a little bit deeper than you probably have thus far, just so you can get a better understanding of how he grew up, what his beliefs are today, um, especially when it comes to family and things like that. If they were to come and visit at this house that he's trying to close on, because if you're already speaking on future, that means you see yourself as being his wife. And so you need to know what all comes with that because, that Proverbs 31, you can read that in your own time. It, it's a lot. It's a lot for you to take on. And when you're taking on that role, you need to have a better understanding wholeheartedly when you're dealing with someone of a different culture, and what all that entails because you don't want to deal with a lot of stress, pain, and heartache. Um, my question to the young lady would be, what is his relationship with his mother? Because I know how the women feel about mama boys here in America. You want to also know what his relationship is with his mother because I've seen a lot of marriages be strained because of what they call a mama's boy after the fact. And I always ask the same question: didn't you see that early on? you know and so if they didn't, maybe they out of state or different situations. So my advice to you would be, look very deep before you leap into this situation, and I wouldn't be so quick to try to rush the time frame because if you got to freeze the eggs, as Lo said earlier, or Lim, definitely do what you got to do. You don't want to put yourself in that situation, just getting on this biological clock, because the Bible never said you had to be married by a certain age. That's one thing a lot of people don't talk about. And I'll end with that.
That's true. Yep.
Go ahead, Lem. Give us some closing remarks for the young lady, please. I'm gonna go
Well,
last.
I wish her. I wish her the best. I wish her and her future potential spouse the best. I hope it works out for them. I would say always proceed with caution. Matter of fact, we haven't talked about this. She need to ask herself, why does she want this to work? Why does she? What is it about her? Is it about her age? Is it about time? Is it about biological clock? Why is she ready? And then the next thing I would do, if they believe they are strong as they are, couples counseling. Let's do premarital counseling. They need to agree to premarital counseling and to hear somebody else's perspective as to why also this marriage is, or this potential relationship has legs. So I would be willing to do all those things. And once she's done that, she's done all of that, and it looks good. Hey, I'll buy my tuxedo and I'll be at the wedding my damn self. I'll get a tuxedo. We all get some tuxedos around here. We go,
Hopefully,
get up there and get.
look, hopefully we invited. Because at the end of the day,
Well, I hope we are.
we gave
Yeah.
some good words. We gave some good heat. So hopefully we are invited.
Yeah.
So let me end by saying my point, right? So in closing for Big Mama, I hope she proud of me, right? I hope she proud of me based on this, right? I'm gonna give her some heat like I'm talking to the young lady too in her face. And so in closing remarks, I'm gonna say this. Actions speak way louder than words, right? That's really important because I could say I love you, but I don't show. You got to put actions with exactly what you're doing. Like you got to be able to show love. Love is an action word. So if I could say I love you and I ride with you all day long, but when you need me, I'm never there. I never give you the support, right? So what I'm saying is really pay attention to actions more than words. Because as a matter of fact, you could really want something really bad and in your head, and you finagled into this object because you want it to be a certain way. And so you could go right into that hole based on what you wanted it to be, because it all stems in your mind. And I'm gonna say this because I know girls start off with playing with Barbie dolls, and they had this fictitious thing of what their life should be: marriage and walking down the aisles, what's gonna be their marriage colors, who they gonna marry, Ken and Barbie. And so my thing is that follows them. They might not tell you, but it follows them. And so now when you at this age, you had a time limit on it. But this is why you got to relinquish control with faith, right? Faith is something you cannot see. So that's why I'm not bashing the young lady, because I'm shooting for her. I want it to work, because see, the God that I know, he worked in mysterious ways and miracles happen. So if you ever read the story, if you ever read the story of your boy Joseph, that they counted him out. They threw him in the hole and counted him for dead. But at the end, everybody love a redemption story. So just say, for example, this was her story, or the ugly duckling, or whoever you want to call with the redemption story. We all love a comeback. And what I'm saying to you is, do not count her out. Old school songs tell you cannot rush love. That's something you got to just wait patiently, because Big Mama also said the truth take time. And if you were giving it the time you need, because I could get one thing I could guarantee you is, once I read the letter, once y'all meet each other, family and friends, once y'all actually spend more quality time together after the divorce is final and the house is separated and he moved in a new house, and now you're gonna really get a chance to see what he really, really is when he ain't right next door to you. And so the truth takes time. And then so I want to leave by telling you to continue to be a great person, continue to serve. And as you serve and you are humble, the Bible says you will be exalted in due time. So sometimes you got to come in humble as a servant and do exactly what you're doing. Help him through this divorce. Help him through the difficult situation he's going through. And whether it's supposed to be with you or not, it's going to work out for your good. If it's supposed to, if you believe that. So those are my closing remarks to the young lady. I hope she take this, and I hope we all got our tuxedos and we're ready to go to a wedding, because I'm banking for her and on her. And I can't wait to meet the man and come out and have him on the show. I'm gonna have him on the show together. And that's what we're gonna do.
Let's
We're
do it.
gonna have them on the show together, and we're gonna play this back to back. So I appreciate y'all for joining us this week. Next week, we're going to have another good one. Thank you so much for listening and being attentive. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure you email us or DM us on IG, and subscribe on YouTube, man. Like some of the videos. We're going to keep bringing this smoke. Until next week. See y'all next time.
Later.